Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/AskReddit. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. NSFW, what did the weird kid do at your school? He was definitely on the autistic spectrum, super smart, and created his own code that he would write in. I believe he called it cipher. He tried to teach it to me one day, but it was so confusing. My favorite time was when one of the dickheads in my year was picking on him and poked him or something. He full-on karate kicked him in the ribs and winded him to the floor. People stopped being dicks to him after that. /instant karma. I also have a guy who's like that in my school. He has autism, he can't focus much in class, but he's always drawing these awesome artworks. One time a dickhead disturbed him, and he went full on rage mode. Threw a chair, spit on him, chased him around the class. Unfortunately, he was the one suspended. He made a long list of girls in school that he liked to masturbate to in numeric order. Of course, someone ended up finding it. I remember being oddly proud at discovering I was number 4. How does it feel like knowing that someone masturbated on you? Hey, top 5. Good for you. He carried a laptop to every class so he could play SimCity. This was weird because it was 1989 and portable computers were barely a thing. In fact, the computer he had was the size of a medium suitcase. It was barely portable. He of course was deemed a nerd and was mocked regularly from junior high school through the end of high school. As an adult, he got a job as a computer engineer, and as I understand it is currently rich as fuck. I heard he owns a block of stores or some shit. From SimCity to Real City. Should've just brought a PSP. This friend of mine, who was on the spectrum, but a really smart and talented guy. He loved science and space and stuff, and would lead the science discussions when the teachers were finished. Oh, and he loved UFOs and astronauts and stuff. Anyway, at graduation, as he's about to take the diploma and shake hands with the principal, he rips his suit off to reveal an orange astronaut suit. So his high school diploma's picture has him in an astronaut uniform, shaking hands with the principal. That's not weird, that's amazing. My friend on the spectrum gave the person who gave him his diploma a rock, so the person had to keep holding that rock till the end of the ceremony. He smacked a teacher in her face with an iPad with an image of the Bible, because he wanted to bless her. Did it work? Went to school in a suit literally every day, and made YouTube videos reviewing energy drinks and fast food, in the same suit. I'm pretty sure that this is about me. Funny though, I never would have expected to see a post about me in this thread, yet I'm a perfect candidate for a thread like this. Good stuff. Did you seriously go to school with Report of the Week? What's he like? Did he have friends? Was he bullied? He shat in his pants. He probably didn't wear any underwear. I saw this chunk of shit falling down while we were standing to greet the teacher. Something similar happened at our school. Mind you, this was in kindergarten. It was the kid's birthday, so we sang the happy birthday song for him. That seemed to make him so happy that he proceeded to take all of his clothes off and shat in the middle of the classroom. Take pictures of girls and claim that he was a part of the N-word CIA. He was Asian. I'm Asian, I also like taking pictures of girls. NSA. There's a separate CIA for black people? Run around like Naruto. Had a jumpsuit that he painted orange with a 6-year-old headband he's had since middle school. Bleached his hair to be blonde, like Naruto. Had those knives that I forget the name of, threatened people with said knives even though anyone could flick this kid and he'd cry wolf. Always ends his sentences with believe it. Oh my god, this kid was so annoying and always asked everyone why they weren't his friend. Looked him up recently and he's still doing the whole shebang, just now it's with more anime. It's people like this that make me hate the whole anime scene. Threw stuff at people, shouting DDDDDDDD, dodge the brick. He had a stutter. Also wore a Hurley helmet, as he often banged his head off the wall. Poor kid. He might have been like that because he didn't dodge the brick. Pretty sure he was disabled, not the weird kid. Even in graduate school, there's the weird kid. His facial hair is way too sparse to grow a beard, but he's trying anyway, so his mutton chops look distinctively like pubes. He sits with his legs spread so far apart it's like he's trying to do stretches, then jiggles them so intensely it's like he's trying to run a marathon, all while slouching in his chair to the point of practically laying down. He exclusively refers to women as females. He only participates to make uncomfortable and inappropriate meme references. One time the professor finally asked what the fuck 4chan was. When other students described it in not very nice terms, he visibly pouted the rest of class. He only takes notes when he realizes that I, a female, am typing faster than him, so he tries to out-type me. This is made obvious by the constant dirty looks and staring. He smells like pee, which is then wafted through the air via intense leg jiggles. His mother once called the head of the department to demand a grade change. He's at least 25. There are more. Can't wait for the semester to be over so I can get away from this man baby. My school served breakfast. These two kids would sneak toast out of the cafeteria and jerk off on it. I guess if I had to pick, the weirdest one was the kid who thought it was hilarious and wanted other people to come watch. These days he's married with a good job. Life is funny. Oh, that's disgusting, but you reminded me of the weird at my school. The guy took a photo of a girl from school, jizzed on it and sent it to her. He started stalking her until police got involved. My grandma told me of the weird kid when she was in elementary school. He would sit all day and draw pictures of trucks through their lessons, until one day the teacher had had enough. She grabbed him by the ear, walked him to the door, told him he would never amount to anything, and was never welcomed back. He was kicked out of school in the 4th grade and went on the design semis that are popularly used between OH, PA, and WV. Dude is loaded. What a terrible teacher. Weird kid, could blow milk out his nose. Weirder kid, would then drink it. Not me but a friend. We were just solely in class when a spider just dangled DWN in front of my friend, his response WSO cool, and he just casually TED without blinking an eye. That kid fucked with you more than you ever could with him. Did he grab it with his fingers and eat it, or did he just lean forward and take a bite? This is essential information. There was a real fire at my school, so everyone was out on the field. The guy went under a tree and started masturbating in front of everyone. Some say he is still masturbating in that tree to this day. Did he finish? He had hearing issues, wore 2 hearing aids, kind of came across like Walt's son from Breaking Bad, but without the walking issue. He had these glasses that magnified his eyes all skewy. He had no friends, used to walk around like, chewing on his tongue sticking out. I kind of felt sorry for him. Then on the very last day of school before we all broke for uni, if we got in anyway, that evening we held an annual talent show thing for the parents in the school hall. None of us knew he was doing something, and suddenly there he was, on stage, in the spotlight, in front of like 500 plus people, behind a fucking drum kit. All of us teenagers were at slash in the back of the hall, and all looked at each other like, isn't he deaf? And holy sweet mother of God, he rocked one of the best drum solos I have ever fucking heard. We all went absolutely nuts in the back of the hall when he finished and crossed his sticks in the air. He became a god on stage for a few minutes after years of being ignored. Shame. Create a Reddit account called ZYYGH. Hated that guy. Bless his heart. Ran around the playground with Naruto arms shouting believe it. That was me. That was me. I wish I could see someone like you. He kept telling everyone that there are portals going to everywhere. Maybe he just knows. He really was thinking with portals. He would read these books about dragons, and one time I was looking over his shoulder and read a paragraph that in very graphic detail had 2 characters having sex. This was maybe 2002-ish, and at the time it seemed weird, but looking back on it, it was probably just Game of Thrones, and he was just ahead of everyone else. Dragons and sex. Sounds like a good book TBH. They were probably Anne McCaffrey's Pern series. There was this guy at my high school that was really into Lord of the Rings. Like really into it. He learned how to speak Elvish, or at least pretended to speak it and nobody know the difference, and would crawl around like Gollum and speak in his voice. He once bent a paperclip to be shaped like an elf ear and crawled up to everyone holding it against their ears. He once told me I was hot because I looked like Legolas, which actually kinda hurt my feelings because I'm a girl. As the years went on, he started believing in the fantasy more and more. It was actually kind of sad. He had a really terrible home life, and nobody was getting him the help he obviously needed. He once told me I was hot because I looked like Legolas, which actually kinda hurt my feelings because I'm a girl. If it makes you feel any better. Legolas looks quite effeminate. Talked loudly to himself, mostly quoted lines from cult films, and paced the length of the cafeteria every day at lunch. He has autism, so it's hard for him not to do it. He is also my brother, and there were many times I ended up telling someone off if they sat down with me and my friends, then started shit talking about him. Good guy, sister. He never spoke to anyone and is a successful young comedian now. You went to school with Bo Burnham? Shit in the urinal. Hell, I held the door shut so a kid could plop a steamer into a urinal once. It was magic. That is surprisingly popular apparently, happened at 2 of my schools. He left the bathroom stall unlocked while he choked the chicken to a picture of a horse. Deleted. He liked to eat dog treats. He would bring a plastic bag of them to school and eat them when he could. The cookie/biscuit kind or the meaty kind? The kid has some issues and had been on the wrong type of medicine for a while. He mellowed out once his family changed that. Back when we were in middle school, he used to be obsessed with Dragon Ball Z. He would run around with his arms behind him and then make explosion sounds as he attacked people with the abilities. He even went Super Saiyan SP, making those swishy noises that you hear when they glow with power. Bitch, you just jealous of my Super Saiyan swagger. She had many weird quirks, but I think the most memorable was that she licked chairs. We have these type of chairs, and she would turn around and lick the top of the chair, like in the middle of a lesson or whatever. Nobody commented on it because she was so nonchalant about it, like it was a totally normal thing to do. Sounds like OCD unless she just liked the taste. She had no social boundaries and would trap people in strange conversations that they clearly wanted to get out of. And she would take off running to every single class. Luckily, most people weren't mean to her or anything. They just thought she was weird. Then there was another kid who claimed he was a shapeshifter. Then he graduated school and became president of the USA. Tried to set the school on fire. We had this really stupid kid at my school, complete fucking idiot. Thought he was tough walking around with his shirt off, tucked into his back pocket, with a cigarette behind both ears. Used to rob the school cafeteria at night. He'd break in and steal chips. Got caught a bunch of times and just kept doing it. But one year, first day back to school, we get a phone call at home saying the school was burned and we aren't to come in for the next 2 days. In that moment, I could have kissed him. Problem was, he was fucking stupid and did a shitty job of it. Barely managed to singe a corner of a school wing. He declared his love to about 90% of the girls in my grade. Through Facebook. That's gotta have a success rate higher than 0. Deleted. Coin toss between PCP or performance art. Some douche was throwing paper wads at him during lunch. He got up, ran over, grabbed the wrong guy, and tried to start a fight with him. He was 350 pounds with very little muscle, while the guy he tried to fight was head of both the wrestling team and a linebacker for the football team. He wasn't too bright. He was probably more cunning and agile when he wore his Guy Fawkes mask. He ran around with a cape making dinosaur sounds. We called him Screech. I actually found him on Reddit a few years after graduating, on a thread like this. This motherfucker would show up to school fully clad in women's clothing. He swore up and down he wasn't gay or sexually confused, just wanted to break gender limitations as he put it. Along with it he would wear wolf tails and spend his entire lunch period howling under a tree. Needless to say, Guy had a pretty rough ride in high school. Turned out to be very openly gay a year after he graduated. Big surprise. Walking around like a dinosaur and making dinosaur noises on the playground. Detail, it was my kid brother and the first Jurassic Park was just out. Did he ever lose his dinosaur? Kid's name was Val. This was in a tiny New England private Catholic high school in 2001. This was honestly the poorest private school while I was there. It was set up exactly the way it was when my mom graduated from there in 1969. There were 3 bathrooms in the school. 2 of them were segregated by sex, and one was just a room with a toilet and sink. All at extreme ends of the school. Val was very proud of his Russian heritage. He had an accent, think he may have been born outside of the US, not sure how long he had lived here, not that it really matters, he just had a lot of weird stereotypical Russian mannerisms that made him stand out a lot. Also, very much an asshole, but I think that's just because he had no idea how to make friends. Anyway, one morning he was bragging about how tough he was, and that he could eat a crowbar or break plate glass with his fist or whatever. My best friend had enough of his verbal vomit and basically argued with him till he stormed off. Fast forward 20 minutes. I'm sitting in history class when suddenly there is an announcement and an emergency meeting. Everyone files into the gym, and things got really quiet as no one really knew what was happening, but rumors were floating around about a bomb threat or something. Turns out Val had decided to prove how tough he was, and took a fire extinguisher to the only men's restroom accessible to an entire wing of the school, and fire it into the ancient plumbing. The school closed the bathroom for the rest of the semester. It sucked pretty hard. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.